Welcome to our skin tutorial video, and today I'm going to show you how I edit my skin. So to first start, you should really prepare your line art. Next, you're going to need to put a flat color. I don't recommend us using the bucket tool to fill the entire body then erase it, because it's going to make rough edges. I prefer you put on a layer under, you fill it, then you erase the edges. So, in order for you to have a perfect skin color, let me tell you the honest truth. You must use a reference. You must use an art that someone else has used to be able to create something good. For example, I already prepared a skin color here that we're going to be using. If you look well on this skin, you can see darker areas, lighter areas, and really darker areas. These are the three main colors in which we're going to be using. It's true you can download some of these references from Google and use yourself. Trust me, if you do not use this method, yeah, drawing will not be perfectly accurate. It may be good, but it will not really give the pop out. Now, depending on the environment in which you want the person to be, as you can see, she's under a sunlight. That is why I'm using her picture. If the guy was to be in a darker area or under a shadow, I would look for a picture online that somebody standing under a shadow to be able to perfectly copy the skin color, depending if he's black or white. But I'm going to make him white. So like I said, always use a reference. To be able to select a color, come to her body, look for where it's not too bright and it's not too dark, like here in the middle of her chest. That's the perfect skin color we're going to start with. So I'm going to fill his entire body and I'm going to check back soon. Perfect. I filled his skin completely with the skin color I took from the girl. Now, what you are going to do is you come back here. You're going to look for a skin color on her that does not have light entering inside, since he's standing stagnant. But firstly, we need to first look for where our light source should be coming from. Like I said, I always recommend either it should be coming from this direction or from this direction, the left or the right. When you start taking things from angles, you have to, the way it's going to enter will be a little bit disturbing. So I just prefer taking it from one direction at all, or from behind, depending. But here I say let's go with the left. So all the shadows more will be on this side. You come to her, you look for an area that is not too dark. I'm going to take this area. Sorry. You just need to put your hand on the color for a couple of seconds and yep, we have a color. Now, I use only one brush to do all of this. Either you use the first airbrush normal or airbrush triangle. Just come. Normally, if light is coming from this direction, it means all this edge of his face is going to be darker. Now, in order to make your editing smooth, you must reduce the opacity. I don't know if you're seeing me reducing the opacity. Yeah, this is it. You must reduce the opacity. Then, when you reduce the opacity, you can increase the size of the brush in order to make it smooth. The transition to come out smooth. Look, if the opacity is thick, here's what will happen. That's what will happen to it. But in order to make it smooth, you must reduce the opacity, then increase it to be fat and just zoom smooth. Don't be afraid if the ink comes out of the edge of his body. We will erase it after. The point here is that it should be smooth. Now, if you look closely, the edge of his face is darker, and as it goes up, it becomes lighter. That's because I'm putting my finger in the middle of this darker area, so the edge of the brush goes on his skin and make this edge smooth. Now, normally, if light is here, it means this part of his nose is going to be darker. Remember, reduce the opacity. When you reduce the opacity, it's going to make it way easier for you to do anything, for it to come out smoothly. Make a little bit of shadows, maybe there. The edge of his mouth on this other direction. Here. There we go. On his neck as well, you just got to reduce the opacity. Just be regulating the size of your brush. And if the size of the body is a little bit big, you increase it big to make it smooth. Like I said, smaller, increase it just to don't make it to be too small. It will be coming out like this. Yeah, see that? No. When it's fatter, it makes it smoother. Always zoom in, make the picture big in order to be able to do the right transitions. And so Remember, this side of his body is going to be way darker than the other side. So, another thing in editing, you must know where to put the editing and where not to put it. On this art, I'm putting the editing right at the particular points where muscles are, and it must be focused. If light is coming from this direction, it will touch all these small angles, but this under part here will be darker. Knowing where the light touches and where it does not makes it very easy to edit. Like here, I'm going to leave a little bit of shining part there and make this behind darker. As you can see, now on this place is shining, so light touches them more, and then all the behind is darker. Same will go. Remember, I not draw another hand carving here of the muscles on his arm, so that the editing will do the rest of the work. I can just use my editing now to be able to highlight. Remember, you increase the brush and make it as so. Simple. Alright, in order for this video not to be long, I'm going to pause it and I'm going to check back soon. Nice. So almost true. I just wanted to say, if light is from this direction, like I earlier said, this behind part here, the light is not going to touch his arm behind here. So we're going to do an editing. It's not by force that all the editing should remain on that angle and it should not be here. As the hand carves, obviously there's still going to be some shadow parts here. So there we go. I'll keep on repeating this. Remember, the size of your brush is what will make it smoother. If your brush is smaller, it's rough. And don't do this. Don't do this. No. Watch my fingers closely. I'm just passing lines over. I'm leaving my hand up and going up and coming down again. I'm not doing this. See, no. I'm doing this. If I'm taking from down, I'll be doing this from down. In order to make it that down here is thick and it goes and get lighter up there. Everything, you should remove your hand. Don't, except that it's a place that you want to make it dark, you do, yes. But for normal editing, you must start from a point and leave, go. That. So I can say we are 30% through our work. Now, what we're going to do here, like I said, there are three phases. Firstly is this flat color. I'm going to look for a more darker color now to make it to pop out more. So I'm going to come right on her body. I'll look for a dark color that he edited right here. Perfect. I'm going to come down to my skin. I'm going to reduce the opacity. If it comes out too thick, you reduce the opacity. It's supposed to be light. Good. Good. I don't know, my camera is making it overglow, but I'm going to send the real picture to the group so that everybody should see the real color of it, because my phone camera is making colors to pop. Well, yeah, you just need to come down back to the edges of what you have been editing, where the critical points where you know that it's going to really be dark, like that place of his ear. Good. Right there, right here. Not everywhere you should put it, just in the points where you know that can really be darker. Like so. Good. On the neck, obviously the under of his neck here will really be the one taking most of the thickness. As you can see, I made my hand through because I wanted to make it to be thicker. From there on now, you have to be doing the other method I told you. Lift up the finger. Start from a particular direction and come down. Alright. Remember, there should always be a darker part that goes and become lighter. As you can see, it should always become lighter. The reason why this drawing looks cool like this is because we do not form up our colors by ourselves. If we form it up, it might look nice, but compared to a photo that somebody has made already, it's very easy for you to be able to use. For example, many times I use my own old drawings I've done already to be able to take the colors back and use on some of my drawings. You can do the same with yours. Go back, take one of your drawings, import it, and just put your finger on the first color, the base, the thicker color. Then you come now and take the darkest one. This is not the darkest. Like I said, these three faces. This is the second, a little bit dark one. We're going to take the darkest now to really, really, really move the dark places out well. Like I said, don't be afraid if it should come out. We'll erase that after. Reduce that opacity. Right, let me quickly go through and I'll check back soon. Perfect. Almost done here. As you can see, I've put some darker edges. Now, to really, really remove the dark parts, we're going to come back to our reference photo. I'm going to look for a real dark spot where he edited. Sometimes I will adjust it again and even make it more darker if I feel like the darkness is not enough. More dark. Let's see. And if you like, you can change the airbrush in which you are using just to make it a little bit more nice. But I do prefer that you use this second airbrush though. This second one. That first one is too light and it takes a lot of time to be highlighting places. But this one, even if you reduce the opacity, it comes out somehow into a smooth transition. As you can see, I'm making those areas real dark, like really dark. Good. The edge of the eyes. Good. Oh, that behind neck. Like I said, don't bother if it comes out. We'll erase that after. Remember, you're trying to make edges dark, so try your best not to make the dark to enter into the drawing itself. Here. Yeah. All right, let me quickly do it again, then I'm going to check back. Okay, now as you can see from my art, some areas are not really close to like becoming really effectively leaving the dark area to the shining area. We're supposed to make it this side really shining, then it becomes darker as it reaches the other side. So I'm going to come back to my reference photo, go and take, let's say, a more shining color. I think I'll make it a little bit more shiny. Let's just use this one here. Perfect. I'm going to come back to my skin, reduce the opacity, try to make a more transition before it becomes dark. There should be a more glow here before becoming darker. Right, that. I'm gonna do a little bit here. Remember, in bigger areas you must increase that brush in order to make it smooth. Good. Smooth. All right. Just like that. Remember, the secret about this type of editing is just increasing the size of that brush and reducing the size. It might look nasty now, but when we erase the edges, you really see how smooth this art is. Alright, now if light is from this direction, we're gonna have to make this side glow more than this other side. Because it means the sun touches him here before reaching the other direction. And fortunately, on our art, he already started making some glow. Although I don't like using exact white, so I'm going to use the pink color close to the white. Simple. And we're going to put it on this other side of his face. If you really wanted to make it like let the white be there, You can, it's your choice, but since we are not working in the background on this art, and we are not, I will not say we're close to the sunlight on the art, we're just gonna make this side lighter, as you see. So remember, opacity to regulate everything, opacity and size. Just come touch the areas where you know that comes whiter first. There we go. Here we go, and here we go. Simple. Okay, that was quick. Now I'm gonna erase the edges. In order to make this video not to be long, I'm gonna pause it. Erasing the edges is something everybody knows, and I'm going to check back after. After looking at the art when we erased, I discovered that we really had to make those edges to pop out more to give the art some life. So I went back, I'm going back in now to be able to make these edges to really stand out, like separate them from each other, the edges. As you can see, I'm going back in to make these edges better, like smoothing, really make it to pop. Yeah, like so. So I'm going to do it quickly over and I'll check back soon. Alright, so there we go. I just went put in some colors and made the edges thicker. Yep, that's all. All you need is a reference photo. Use a reference photo to edit the skin, and yep, that's simple. If you want another method to edit the skin, which is a 2D method, which I use most of the times, it's far faster, far simpler than this. So in case if you want me to do another video, you're just gonna tell me, okay? But for today, that's simply what you have to do.